So they made a lot of arcane mage changes, but they also did a bunch of changes to PvP talents. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that at all. But yeah, these arcane changes are great. Let's look at more specifically the PvP talents. So player versus player, they haven't done that much PvP specific stuff. You know, I've seen on Twitter people are saying that this just looks like Dragonflight V2. They haven't made any changes. I feel like they're still cooking. So here's some of that cooking. We'll have to wait and see. Player versus player classes. So Death Knight. Let's go here. Strangulate now overrides Asphyxiate, but its cooldown is decreased to 45 seconds. Its duration is increased to 5 seconds, and its range is increased. So you can no longer Asphyxiate and Strangulate, but Strangulate lasts longer. So this is, I feel like, I want to say this is a buff to Frost Death Knight, would you say? Like, this is better for Frost Death Knight because you have stun in other ways, right? Like, you have Frostworm's Fury, you have your little Frozen Tempest thing, and now your Strang is, you don't really rely on Asphyxiate as much. So having the increased range, increased duration, lower cooldown is quite good. For Unholy Death Knights, this is kind of like a change, I guess. It's a nerf because you can't stun Strang. I think it's just going to make it so you have to play with people that stun, you know? I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily awful for Unholy Death Knights. It's awful in the sense of, like, you can do less by yourself, but in, like, a team environment, it still seems pretty good. Demon Hunter. Cleanse by Flame now cleanses one magical effect. So now every single time you use your Immolation Aura, you only dispel one effect instead of all of them. Now, my personal thoughts on this is I feel like this talent is going to be borderline useless now. Maybe not entirely. It could still be good. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, if you had this in the game right now, would it be good? It might be okay against some stuff. Like, very specific things. Maybe like a Fire Mage, you have a good chance of getting like Ignite off or something like that. But overall, this is way worse. It's a huge nerf. But I think Cleanse by Flame is super toxic. Unbelievably toxic. I'm not really a big fan of PvP talents that like I was listening to, I was reading Matt talk about this. He's like, I don't like when Dispel is a heal. Like Shaman on Cataclysm, for example. It shouldn't be rotational heal to Dispel, you know? And just like I don't think Demon Hunters should be cleansing every dot in the game just by doing their damage rotation, you know? I think that's bad design. So getting rid of this talent or changing it, I think is overall really, really healthy for the game. Druid, new PvP talent, Tireless Pursuit. For 5 seconds after leaving cap form or travel form, you retain 40% movement speed. Did they get rid of this in the Druid? This is in the Druid tree, right? I'm pretty sure this was a Druid talent. Is it not in the general tree anymore? Or what did they do? Like, what is this? Because I feel like this is a good effect, but I thought they already had it. Unless they removed it from the general tree and they're just bringing it back with a PvP talent. Okay, they moved it. We have High Winds, which has been redesigned. So it increases the range of Cyclone, Typhoon, and Entangling Roots. I saw people saying that they think that this sucks, but this is really good. Isn't like a common problem Cyclone, Typhoon, and Entangling Roots have too short of a range? Well, at least Cyclone. I feel like this is actually like better in some circumstances. So I don't know. I saw people complaining that this talent sucks. Actually, I saw one person complaining that this talent sucks, but I don't think it's bad. It seems good. Hunter Tranquilizing Darts has been removed. Resto Druids everywhere are rejoicing. Mages everywhere are rejoicing as well because they're no longer getting their altar time purged at 5 seconds. So that's pretty nice. Mage, new PvP talent. Fireheart. Blazing Barrier's damage is increased by 500%. Okay. So the Thorn damage from Fire Mage is going to be way higher. And they remove Flame Cannon. No! I love Flame Cannon. I'm really sad about that, actually. I'm really sad. That's a... Aww. Flame Cannon is one of those talents that is so fun to use. It's the one where when you're in combat, you get a stacking buff that makes you have more stamina, do more damage, and have more range. So this is the talent that lets you outrange people, which makes me very sad. Goodbye, Fire Mage. It was nice knowing you. Monk, grapple weapon PvP talent. Flame cannon sucks though if you can't get distance. Yeah, at the risk of sounding biased, I should point out I do think flame cannon is kind of toxic, because flame cannon basically encourages you to sit back and do nothing and not interact with anyone. Like the playstyle of just sitting back and attacking from max range, I think is enabled by this talent. So I think removing this talent is probably a good thing for the game. Okay. Monk, grapple weapon PvP talent, the range has been reduced. Interesting. This is going to be more difficult for Mistweaver to just like throw out a grapple from max range, so they're going to have to get in. Mistweaver, new PvP talent, Rodeo. What's up, Nick? Good morning. Every 3 seconds while Clash is off cooldown, your next Clash can be reactivated to immediately wildly clash an additional enemy. This effect stacks up to 3 times. This is such an annoying talent. So Windwalker monks actually got some love here too. They get Rodeo, which is really good. But they also got this. New PvP talent, Rising Dragon Sweep. Whirling Dragon Punch knocks enemies into the air and causes them to fall slowly when they reach the ground. Oh my god, no! I was just gonna say you could combo that with Mighty Ox Kick, like Whirling Dragon Punch someone in the air and then knock them super far away. No, it's gone. No, and they got rid of Alpha Tiger. That is so sad. But I will say, so Windwalker monks have been in an interesting position where they don't have to worry about haste at all in their energy because of this talent. So basically Windwalker monks in previous expansions like Dragonflight and Shadowlands and every recent expansion I could think of since Alpha Tiger was in the game, you play with 0 haste. And the reason you play with 0 haste is because you're constantly running around getting like little mini bloodlusts with Alpha Tiger, which gives you really fast energy regen. So this being removed isn't as bad because you actually want to play with some haste now. As far as I understand it, Windwalker monks stand to benefit a good amount from haste with some of the talent changes. So losing this sucks, but it's not the end of the world. New PP talent, Wrench Evil. Oh, so Turn Evil's instant cast now. That's really good. For like demo locks and stuff, fear them away. Perfect, I like that. Judgment of the Peer, PvP talent has been removed. Oh my god, they got rid of Judgment of the Peer. So this is the same thing. Same principle as like Cleanse by Flame. I'm perfectly happy with this. I'm sure Red Paladins are a little sad, but I don't like rotational things, just removing damage over time effects is really annoying as certain classes, you know? Shaman Skyfear Totem has been redesigned. It now triggers when casting Primordial Wave. Wait, what? So now when you use Primordial Wave, you just get the effects of Skyfear Totem? That seems insane. What? Okay. You don't know. It's like it's not something you can even kill off anymore. Oh, maybe it drops. Maybe the totem just drops. Okay, maybe it's still a totem, it just drops. I was thinking you just get like a buff. It's a lot more fluid. I'm getting word that it's not listed, but the Feral Frenzy talent is removed. Oh god, thank god. Warlock. Call Fel Lord damage is increased by 80%. And the Fel Obelisk has been removed. I actually really like the Fel Obelisk. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I actually, when I play Demo, I feel like dropping the little obelisk and having that little mini game of hiding it is actually pretty fun. So I know Demo's toxic, but it like I felt kind of, I like that. I thought that was like an interesting thing. You would drop the obelisk, like you try to hide it behind a pillar, and I don't know. I thought that was like an interesting thing that you could do, but maybe it was problematic. All right, Warriors. We got Master and Commander now reduces the cooldown of Rallying Cry by 90 seconds. Okay. Was 60 seconds. It's a buff. Battlefield Commander now increases the radius of Piercing Howl by 50%. That's good. So Warriors don't have a root on Piercing Howl anymore, which I think was kind of toxic. It just gives them a much wider range on Piercing Howl, which I think is still good. Death Sentence has been removed. Yeah. Arms. Storm and Destruction has been redesigned. Now reduces healing on affected targets by 25%. So it's like an AoE Mortal Strike. And Duel is now 12 seconds. They didn't say what it used to be. Do you guys remember what Duel used to be? That seems really freaking good, though. 12 seconds? I don't know if I like this. I actually don't like Duel, to be honest. I hate Duel. I feel like Warriors are just the king of, like... And I know Duel isn't something that's used, but, like... Imagine every time you're trying to kill a target, you just get dueled by the Warrior. And then you do 50% less damage to anyone else but him. You know, like... I don't know. It just is like... It's one of those things that if Warriors are really, really tanky and and Intervene. Yeah, like, you have Safeguard with Intervene and you have Duel. Like, it's going to be impossible to... whatever. Cool. I just think that this might be really toxic and OP. Fury. Enduring Rage, PP talent, now activates Recklessness without Enrage, and the duration of Recklessness granted has been increased by 1 second. Slaughterhouse now stacks its effects if another healing reduction effect is active and overrides its effect. If this... Okay, well, let me read that again. I spaced out. Slaughterhouse now stacks its effect if another healing reduction effective is active and overrides its effect once its effectiveness would surpass the active healing. Okay, that's good. That's a really good change, actually. So Fury Warrior's MS is not completely useless when you're playing with someone else that has MS. You still get some benefit from it, so that's really, really big for Fury Warriors. And Storm of Destruction has been removed for Fury, and Blood Rage has been removed. But here's a very big change, okay, guys? So this is a massive, massive, massive change, and I think this is just one of those things that just shows you that they're going in the right direction with a lot of this stuff. Okay, so as you know, PvPers, we don't have vaults. People were disappointed that they're getting less conquest. You know, what are we gonna do? We're getting less conquest. Oh my god, we don't have a vault. We're not gonna get weapons. This is an amazing change, okay? So listen to this. In conjunction with the Conquest Earned update, we wanted to provide additional context on how players will earn their weapons. In 11.0 Season 1, players can earn a set of Conquest weapons suitable to their specialization without having to spend Conquest. Players can pick up the quest Weapons of Conquest either by entering a rated PvP match or going to Dorogal to speak with the Conquest Quartermaster, Lalandi. This quest will task them with earning 2,500 Conquest, which is achievable on week 3 of the season. Players can then complete this quest by speaking with Lalandi. She will give you weapons, shield, and offhands appropriate for your specialization. After completing this quest, players will be able to use Conquest to purchase weapons from Lalandi as normal. So, there's no more RNG. If you play for 3 weeks in a row, you automatically get your weapons. You just automatically get your Conquest weapons after 3 weeks, which I think is a really, really, really good change. That's a really good change, I think. So, yeah, I'm stoked. I think that's great. A lot of these PvP talents, great. Can't wait to see more stuff that's cooking.